Hello, hello. We're going to wait and see if anybody comes in. Y'all be sure to say hello. Why does this look so blurry?
Oh, it's very blurry.
Is this dirty? I don't know why it looks like that.
It looks better. Still blurry.
Y'all just bear with us. Still
Uh,
Well, y'all, I apologize for the video quality. I don't know why it looks so blurry. I hope y'all can hear me okay. Y'all be sure to come on and say hello so we know who's here. We thought we'd do a little Q&A and figure out what kind of questions we're going to answer. Anyways, it is rained all day today. We didn't know. Hello, new subscriber from Florida. Hello, Annette. Glad to have you here. It don't look bad on there.
No.
Okay, well, good.
I think it's just our computer.
Glad to have you here, Miss Annette. But yeah, it's rained all day. They said yesterday it wasn't gonna rain till this evening, but we woke up this morning and it's been pouring rain all day. So we're thankful for that. The grass needed it, the garden needed it, the pasture really needed it. So we're glad that it's raining.
Yep, it's been an all-day soaking rain.
Glad you're in here. Glad to see you. And child of God, hello from Northern Indiana. Hello.
Wow.
But yeah, we're thankful for the rain. The weather's been super weird. Usually this time of year is like dry and hot, and it is like 68 degrees and pouring rain. So
yeah, it's cold.
Yeah. Hey, y'all. Duncan from Maryland. Hey, Duncan. Glad to have everybody here. Tommy said, send it to Southwest. So y'all still dry down there, Tommy?
I wish we could.
Yeah, I wish we could. So something fun me and Andy thought we would do is kind of give y'all a little background information on us, kind of how we grew up, how we met, fun stuff like that. 100 plus here and powder dry. Oh my goodness.
Well, that's about how we were last week.
Hello from West Virginia. Hello, Randy. But we thought that would be fun and just talk to you kind of about how we grew up, how we met, and how we got to where we are now. So, how does that sound?
where exactly you want to say we are now? Sometimes we don't know.
I know. Hello from Upro. Hello, Sandy. So I guess I'll start off to tell y'all. So me and Andy both grew up within 15 minutes of each other. We went to the same high school. And everything, knew of each other, didn't really know each other. Andy was a little older than me in school. Actually, one of my good friends always used to talk about him coming over to her restaurant. She used to tell me about him coming to. She was a waitress at a local little grill, and I just always pick at him about that. But when I grew up, I didn't really grow up farming per se. I was a softball player. So I played a lot of softball year round sometimes. When I got older, Mom and Daddy didn't really farm a lot. Daddy grew field corn for a while, pretty much to feed the deer. He was a big deer hunter, or he was at that time. He don't really deer hunt anymore. And then, we would always grow things like potatoes, but never really a big garden. We had pigs growing up when I was a kid. And one year, the last year we had them, for whatever reason, Daddy couldn't keep them in the fence, and they kept getting out. And one day, I just remember one day I got home from school, and we didn't have pigs no more, and there was, we had meat, but we didn't have no pigs, and we never had pigs again because they rooted up the entire yard when I was a kid, and then Daddy never had no more pigs after that. But so that's kind of how I grew up, not really living this kind of lifestyle per se. I've always been intrigued by it because Papa and Grandma, they did this kind of stuff, and Papa always talked about the signs. Like, my Papa would not walk outside if the signs wasn't right. But I wasn't. I was 12 when he passed, and I never really got to ask him what that meant. But I always thought it was interesting. He farmed tobacco, and he worked at RJ Reynolds and retired from there. And Grandma worked at the local hospital and, run the farm as well. But Daddy, tobacco's one of them things, either you love it or you hate it. And my daddy was one that hated it. And when he got married and moved out, he never touched another leaf of it. He said he never would. So that's kind of how that went. And so we didn't do much farming. So that's enough about me. So now you tell them how you.
Well, I grew up exactly opposite. We farmed
Yeah.
a lot, and we grew tobacco. That was, I guess you could say, mom and daddy's main cash flow. Both of them worked public jobs, but that was their main thing. If it wouldn't been for tobacco, they probably wouldn't have had much of anything. Um, then we always grew a garden, not because we had to though, just because it's just what people around here done. If you didn't have it, I mean, everybody grew their tomatoes or green beans, whatever, and you canned it and you eat it that winter. But it just seemed like something everybody always done. And I can remember when I was a kid, my grandpa was a tobacco farmer too, and every tobacco farm, I mean, every tobacco field grandpa had either had a row of tomatoes or a row of crowder peas or something by it. And so most of his gardening was done in the tobacco field. And um, so, but the thing that amazes me about that is nowadays we couldn't do that because the deer would just demolish it. Back then, they could plant a row of tomatoes or anything anywhere and never had deer problem at all. I'm not sure exactly what's changed there, but something has.
People hunting for horns now instead of just deer.
I don't know. I don't know what it was. What Daddy said when he was young, he didn't even remember seeing deer.
Well,
that's what he said. But anyways, we always grew up raising our own beef and raising most of my life. We raised our own pork. I can remember when I was very, very young that we didn't have pigs, but that was a very short time. But pretty much, we didn't quite do it to the extent that me and Meagan do now. But we still, for the most part, grew our own.
And so when I was 18, we were at a local, it used to be a local place up here. They would have music and things like that. Me and my friend went to a concert, and me and Andy reconnected. I knew who he was. Like I told you a while ago, I knew of him and I knew who he was. Actually, his mama was my teacher in elementary school. So it was so hard for me to quit calling her Miss Lawson too. But so we met at that place, and Andy asked me if I would come with him and ride the tractor and rake hay. That was our first date. So I came and rode the tractor and we raked hay. And other than that, it's all history from there.
Yeah,
We've been
so.
together ever since. But I'll tell y'all this, I think it's funny. He asked me, we got engaged. He asked me to marry him when I was 19 or 20. I can't remember. Do you remember?
I don't remember either.
And
been a long time ago.
I was, at that time, I was in college, and my daddy looked at me and he said, now I'm going to give you two options. He said, you can go on and get married and put yourself through nursing school. He said, or you can wait till you get done and I'll help you through school. So what y'all think I did? So we were engaged for like 4 years. 4 years.
I had to wait 4 years.
We were engaged for 4 years before we ever got married.
She said at least you knew what you were getting into. That's exactly right. Yep. My grandpa warned her before he passed away.
He did.
For those of y'all that don't know, we live in my grandpa's old house. I bought it from mom and daddy before me and her got married. And at that time, grandpa had already passed away and everything. But at that point, I still grew a garden. I always loved to grow a garden. And I had my garden right out here in the same spot it's in now, in the yard. Wasn't near as big as it is now, but grandpa was sitting up here on the porch one day, and me and her come up here to do something in the garden. I can't remember what now.
Yeah.
But we come up here, and grandpa's sitting out here on the porch watching us. And he said, little girl, he'll work you to death if you'll let him.
Yep.
But she says she thinks about that all the time.
I do. I think about him standing up on the porch telling me that. And then it was funny. He always called me little girl. And one day he asked Andy, he said, what's that little girl's name? And Andy told him my last name. I used to be a Rogers. And He said, "Boy, you better watch him, Rogers. They like to fight." And I said, "I promise." I said, "That used to be a long time ago. That ain't me. That's my people a long time ago."
That's exactly what he
Yep.
said.
Yep.
Because around here, everybody knowed everybody.
Yeah. Oh
so,
yeah.
You know,
all his people knew exactly who my people were. My people knew exactly who his people were. So I mean, both of our families have been around here forever, in the same area. Like I said, I grew up like 15 minutes away. Right from where I grew up, you could literally throw a rock into Virginia. So I was right on the line.
Mm-hmm.
Let me see. Stephanie said, "Tell y'all she's listening. I got her cooking." That's what I've been doing all day, Stephanie. I've been making tomato sauce. I've been making salsa. I'm getting ready to can some potatoes. I feel you. I understand. And Miss Sharon, we've run them out of their habitat with subdivisions here. Now they're on Main Street. Yeah. Yeah.
I see that a lot. I mean, it hadn't got that bad here yet as far as like subdivisions and stuff. Of course, it's probably coming. But especially if I'm working in town or something somewhere, it just amazes me where you'll see a deer. And they don't pay any attention to you.
And they're not scared. Yeah, the deer here are scared. I guess they know.
They'll be in somebody's front yard eating their flowers.
She's frying me some deer and pork sausage, eggs, and fresh potatoes. That sounds good.
Yeah, boy.
I'm about to come to y'all's house and eat. Let's see. There are more deer because not so many people hunt these days. Same with turkeys and bears. Yeah, I figure that's a lot of it too. Because back in the day, like when your daddy and them was hunting,
there was a lot of deer that got knocked down around here.
And Daddy would go like every evening, and a lot of times he'd come back. Well, I mean, that was our meat. When I was growing up, Daddy was a big deer hunter, so we didn't do the beef and stuff, but we lived off of like deer meat, like the ground deer. Everything was in place of beef. Like Daddy would kill enough deer that we would have enough meat till next deer season. So
yeah, I felt like I got burnt out on deer meat when I was a kid because we eat it all the time, and ever since we've moved out, neither one of us has been too crazy about deer meat. I mean, we like it still, but it's just
I like canned deer meat.
We eat it so much when we were growing up.
Canned deer meat and fresh deer tenderloin are my favorite.
Yeah, now I would say there ain't nothing no better than fresh deer tenderloin.
Yeah, I made some deer barbecue one time. It was pretty good.
Daddy's garage, that's where we'd always work a deer up at, and he's got a big old black cast iron frying pan. And I don't care what you cook in that pan, it's always tastes good. Way better than anything else. Yeah. No matter, you can take the same piece of meat and cook it somewhere else, and it tastes absolutely nothing like it tastes out of that frying pan.
Did you say it was like his grandma's frying pan?
It's old, yeah. I don't know how old, but it's old.
But yeah. So back to our story. So something fun. So I didn't know anything about canning. I knew people did it. I knew people raised gardens. I knew. Andy had taught me some about gardening when we were dating and everything. And I don't know. I didn't grow up like that. And the very first year we were married, he planted this big old garden out here and stuff started coming in. And I'm just like naive. Y'all, he even had to show me how to hoe the garden. Okay. Because like I said, that I didn't know. And he come in one day and he said, the garden's coming in. I reckon you better figure out what you're going to do with it. And I was like, what? I don't know what I'm supposed to do with it. And then, so my mother-in-law taught me some. Andy's mama taught me, how to get started. She taught me how to make strawberry jelly and green beans. I won't ever forget it, how to can green beans. And then I just kind of started from there to become, what we do now. That tomato sauce looked amazing. I want to try it before the tomatoes are all gone. Yes, the tomato sauce. It smelled well. It
smells good in here.
Yeah, my house smells so good right now.
It does.
It's in here cooking. I'm trying it in the roasting pan. So I think I'm actually going to have more because that roasting pan holds a lot. But it's been cooking all morning. And Miss Sharon, I wanted to tell you too, I tried my canned slaw for the first time the other day. We had barbecue for supper, so I got me a little jar out and did what you told me to do, like emptied out the liquid and I rinsed it off and added mayonnaise, salt, and pepper. Oh my gosh. It was so good and the easiest slaw to make ever. So thank you for that because that is definitely going to be something I make from now on. She said, I was just about to ask you. Yes, I finally tried it, and it was amazing. Amazing. But let's see. I know. I was thinking about something and it just left me. I was getting ready to say something and it's gone. We checked our popcorn that we've got out here the other day. Andy pulled a ear to see what it looked like, and it looks like it's going to do pretty.
It looks
pretty
really good.
Oh, and more bad news: the raccoons figured out how to still got in our sweet corn. We are not going to get any from that first little patch.
That patch that y'all saw in the video that they eat on.
They tore the rest of it down, even after the fence had power on it.
What we have figured out, the only way I think they're getting in there is, y'all know, if any of y'all use that electric net, and you know that wire it runs right across the bottom does not have power.
Yeah, it's black, ain't it?
Like it's black. Yeah. And y'all know how smart raccoons are. The only thing I can figure out is they were picking it up from that wire and going underneath the netting without getting shocked that way. So now I've took and put a double run of netting all the way around the thing, and then took little sod staples and stapled that wire down all the way around the garden. And so I have not seen evidence that they've been back in there since. So fingers crossed that we actually get some sweet corn out of that down there, because I will cry if I don't.
Well, see, and we haven't put any up, and I usually put up around 300 ears, and that was what we were going to put up. Will y'all please remember my family in y'all's prayers? We'll be laying my mama. Oh, Tommy, I am so sorry to hear that. Yes, we will definitely keep you in our prayers. So sorry to hear that.
Hate to hear that.
Yeah, that's tough. But yeah, those pesky raccoons. I told Andy, because Andy told me to go down there and look at it, and I was like, I come back up here and I was like, you might ought to go down there and look. I can't tell, but I think maybe they have been back down in there. And he said, how could you not tell? I could tell as soon as I pulled up down there. They'd done wiped the rest of it out. And sure enough, we can't keep the deer out of ours. That's what Deborah said. Yeah, that's another battle in itself.
Yes, it is.
I think some of the hardest parts of growing a garden is keeping the critters out. And some people say, well, they got to eat too. Well, I got to eat too.
Yeah, I didn't plant it for that. So a lot of people keep saying, though, you plant your garden for the deer and then you eat the deer, but we can't plant corn for raccoons. In my experience, they only like this sweet corn, and I guess they can smell it, you know, being that it's sweeter than regular field corn. I've never really had them bother our field corn a lot, but man, they flat tear up this sweet corn, and it's getting kind of devastating. I'm getting a little antsy, just waiting to see what's going to happen here, because I'm going to be upset if I don't get my sweet corn.
I know.
You will be too. And we're going to have two upset kids.
Yeah, we're going to have two upset youngins. Deborah said, my husband says, trap them with honey buns. We've thought about setting the trap down there.
Well, we tried it one year, and it's like we caught
4 or 5 or 6.
And still, we never made a dent in it.
Yeah, it never slowed them down when we went to catching them. I just like, granted, the corn is on a creek bottom.
Yeah.
It's
in coon heaven.
Yeah, it's where raccoons are, but they we just ain't never. We've always put that net up, and we've always done it exactly the way we've done it. At least the last 4 or 5 years, and they ain't never had a trouble with it until now. I guess they're hungry.
Yep. Well, they got a taste of it, and they know it's in there now.
Yeah.
Beforehand, they didn't. They might could smell it, but they didn't know what exactly was in there. Now they've got in there, and they know it.
James said, up here in the mountains where my place is, we have a lot of bears. Imagine a 300-pound raccoon in your cornfield.
Yeah, that'd be tough too.
Yeah, that's something. We have a few bears around here, but
it's never been a problem.
It's never been a problem. Yeah. You see them occasionally crossing the road or on the side of the road or something, but now we did have a couple of bee gums. A guy come put some out here one time, and now they tore them up.
Yep.
The bears did, but other than that, knock on wood anyway, as far as in the garden, we hadn't had any trouble with them. We're beside the river, so I guess that's why we have issues too.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's where they want to be. Fun fact, because I'm a nerd about animals. If any of y'all didn't know that, I'm a big animal person. But anyways, raccoons do not make spit. That's why they live next to the water, so that way they can make their food wet before they eat it.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, that's why they do it. They go and they
Really?
wash their little food in the creek, and then they can eat it because they have to make it wet.
Well, I was going to say that I know anytime I've ever planted corn on upland away from water, I've never had a problem with a coon bothering it. But corn grows so much better in bottomland.
Bottoms, yeah. Something else I want to try is I want to go pick some of this Hickory King corn before it starts drying up. And try cutting it off the cob and making some cream corn. I've had several people tell me it's really good, and then I've had a couple people tell me it ain't fitting to eat. So I thought I'm going to experiment with that whenever it gets ready for me to do that. Ready. I know we went up there and looked at it the other day though, and just the Jimmy Red was.
Yeah, you could probably get some now, I bet.
But yeah, I'm gonna experiment with that because some people say it's like the best thing ever, but I don't know.
They said they'll pee on it if there's no creek close by.
Really?
That's interesting.
That is interesting. I guess they got to eat it somehow. Yeah. The thing that makes me mad, though, about it is if they're going to eat it, just eat the whole thing. Instead, they just go through and
That's what she said.
They take one bite.
What? She said it wouldn't be so bad if they'd eat the whole ear, but they nibble on it and go to the next.
Yep. That's what makes me mad. They just bite it, and then they just go on to the next one.
Yep.
Just enough to ruin it. But yeah, it's been busy here, putting up stuff, picking garden. Me and Andy, I'm thankful we didn't know it was gonna rain this morning. And I told Andy last night, we were talking about it, and I said, well, I guess I'm just gonna go ahead and pick some of these tomatoes so I can have them in the morning. And sure enough, I'm glad we did. If not, they'd still be sitting out there.
Yeah, we wouldn't have picked them this morning.
No.
I had no clue it was supposed to be raining. Knew it was supposed to be raining later this evening, but it's been raining good since daylight.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And we got up the rest of our potatoes, so y'all be sure to be on the lookout for that. I think that one's coming out tomorrow. Pretty tickled with our potatoes.
Well, I will say, even if we don't make any corn, which I'm going to be very upset about, that we've been lucky so far with everything else we've had. Everything else has done really, really good this year.
It's been a heck of a good year. The weather is never just right, and this year it's been as close to just right as
it started out too cool, but other than that, we've had just the right amount of rain. We hadn't had too much rain, but we hadn't had too little. It's not been extremely hot. It's been working with us so far this year.
String green beans now been blessed with green beans. Meagan looking into corn silk tincture and make stock from cobs. Me and one of my good friends were talking about a corn silk tincture the other day, and I'm contemplating making one. It's supposed to be really good for like your urinary tract and everything, like if you have issues with that. So I've thought about it. I thought about trying to make one. I'm processing a batch of green beans out of my garden today, and this is my first year learning. You guys have been a great inspiration, so helpful with my learning process. Thank you. Well, Natasha, thank you so much. That's why we do this, and that's why I originally started this channel, just to encourage people that you can do this, because I myself didn't grow up doing this, and you can. I'm telling y'all, if I can do it, anybody can do it. I promise. So that is awesome. I'm so glad that kind of stuff just makes my day. Thank you. Kim, I'm in Southeast Iowa, out in the country, and I had wild turkeys in the front yard yesterday. Every time I open the front door, I love seeing them. I love to hear the wild turkeys too, and they taste good too if you ever decide to eat one. But yeah, I love.
They taste good too.
They do taste good.
I've never eaten a wild turkey.
They are. Oh my gosh, they're so good.
We never turkey hunted when I was growing up. We didn't have the patience to sit there and wait for one.
Well, the only reason I ever eat one is because my brother used to turkey hunt all the time. So that's the only reason I've eaten one. But I can't seem to get a good tasting tomato this summer. Sometimes I wonder if the weather plays a role in that, because I've had years like that too. Or maybe it's the variety. Some of the varieties have a better taste than others. My favorite tasting tomato, like as far as for a tomato sandwich and stuff like that, is the pink brandy wines. They're on top of my list as far as a tomato sandwich tomato. For canning tomatoes, I actually like the Mountain Prides, even though they're not technically a canning tomato like a Roma. They put off a whole lot and don't crack stuff. I love them. Pulling potatoes at the outside of Moscow Saturday. Wow.
That's interesting.
That is awesome. Do you know anything about rosemary for hair growth? Not for hair growth. I know rosemary is good for a lot of things, but I'd love to hear more about that. I hadn't heard that one. We always keep our corn hair. We just boil it and drink it as a hot or cold tea. Awesome. Awesome, Annette. My hair was coming out.
How about that?
I did not know that about rosemary. I'm going to have to keep that in mind. That's awesome.
You need to try that. You shed like a dog.
It's not that bad. It's just because I have long hair and you can see it. Me and my wife love y'all show. We're in Salisbury, not a hop skip away, but we're hitting homesteading up hard this year in Cannon. That's awesome. Well, hello, neighbor. Yeah, away. You're not far away at all.
Better than the tame turkeys.
Oh, yeah. Kim, I agree 100%. I think wild turkey and tame turkey taste completely different. I mean, it's been years since I've eaten wild turkey, but I know it was real good when we used to eat it.
Maybe one of these days I'll get one.
Last year, I don't know if y'all have been around this long, but last year we had tomatoes planted in another bottom where we didn't plant anything but the wheat this year. But I had turkeys pecking my tomatoes.
What's up?
It's over.
Okay.
All right.
But I had turkeys actually coming through. That's the only thing I could figure out that it was. And I didn't get nearly as many tomatoes as I should because the turkeys were coming through like pecking, and they would peck up half the tomato off. And
I'm tired.
Okay. All right.
So you want me to take out while you go do that?
Yeah.
Now y'all get to hang out with me for just a second.
Yeah, and any questions y'all have about anything, y'all just let us know. We like helping people, answering questions.
Put the rosemary and white vinegar in a spray bottle and let it sit for a few days. Should have drank wild turkey, but never ate any. After washing your hair, just spray onto the towel. That's interesting. I've never heard anything about that. But yeah, Meagan had to go in here and fix something for the kids. Say hey to them, Jacob.
Hey.
But they was in there watching Smokey and the Bandit. So on a rainy day like today, they do get to lay around and be lazy. Normally you don't, do you? So, Jacob, tell them, what's your favorite movie?
Smokey and the Bandit. And my favorite part of it is when they sing Eastbound Time, loading up and trucking.
That's his favorite movie. She asked how your garden is. So your garden's about over with, ain't it? It's about done.
Uh-huh.
Yep, I think the heat we had last week just took a toll on a whole lot of the stuff we had in the raised beds. That's one thing we've noticed about these raised beds is, unlike in-ground gardening, we can't seem to keep enough water in them. No matter how much we water, they just tend to suffer. So, anyways, with the in-ground gardens, like I haven't watered our in-ground garden not one time this year. But you got a pile of cucumbers out of yours, though, didn't you? And we got one good pick of green beans before the Japanese beetles tore them green beans up. Look, she said, "Wow, Jacob, you can sing good."
What?
You're just singing Eastbound and Down.
Oh.
Tell us thank you.
Thank you.
Everybody on here said hello, Jacob.
Hello to you.
Yep. Those in-ground gardens, I don't know. I like the concept of raised beds. I love everything about the raised beds, and I'm probably going to build more raised beds this winter. But those in-ground gardens just never seem to fail for us. I mean, they're the one gardens we can depend on to actually do good. I don't know what it is about them. I don't know if it's something in the soil there that they need, or that soil just retains moisture better. I don't know what it is, but our in-ground gardens always just thrive. It seems like, and our raised beds done really good this year too.
You got
But
a whole bunch of peppers.
but once it got hot, everything started suffering. Let's see. Love your videos. Learned a lot. Your cooking reminds me of grandma. Good memory. Says Meagan make red eye gravy. She just has started making red eye gravy. Here she comes back. But
my spaghetti sauce.
oh, she's got to go stir spaghetti sauce now. Um, but yeah, she just started making red eye gravy a couple years ago. Um, and my mama, I grew y'all. That's one of my favorite meals. Is country ham, red eye gravy, biscuits, and eggs. You don't get no better meal than that, and molasses. And so Megan finally figured out how to make the red eye gravy and make it taste like Mama's did. And I'm telling y'all what, I could eat it just about every single day. It said y'all have red. Yes, yeah, we have red clay, but the gardens that we have up here at the house, our soil right here around our house is not red clay. It's more of like a, I don't know, like a gray powdery loam looking stuff. And I've amended it over the last 10, 15 years with just leaves and everything. And it's some really good stuff right now. Now, any of your bottomland or anything around here, it's not red. It's not red clay either. But just about all of your uplands red clay. Like up there where we got our field corn planted, it's all red clay, and that red clay will hold some moisture. That's for sure. My granny made chocolate gravy for me. I've never heard of chocolate gravy.
Chocolate gravy.
That would be good, wouldn't it? I think I'd like that. Live in the city, but looking to try a vertical garden. Have a couple of raised beds, but limited room. Both will need frequent watering. Yep, they will. I've found that our raised beds need just as much watering as if you grow anything in a container. It seems like containers, they suck the water up, and our raised beds seem that way too. I grew up eating red eye gravy. Yep, best thing ever. I prefer in-ground gardens as well. Found the same thing. Raised beds. Yep. Yep. And but I will tell you this. Now, the one thing that I absolutely love about those raised beds is it seems that like for your fall garden crops, because we don't grow a ton of fall stuff. So you can just slap you some stuff in your raised beds. Then you've got your in-ground gardens, they're fixed up for the wintertime with your cover crops or whatever. You don't have to worry about none of them. And those raised beds, other than watering, are by far easier to take care of, in my opinion. But yeah, I still prefer the in-ground garden method the best. Yeah, hang on. I got a bunch of questions coming in. Trying to read them. The heat has hit our garden bad. It's also only rained 4 times in the past 2 months. Oh my goodness. Now we hadn't had a ton of rain in the past 2 months, but we've had just enough to keep everything growing like it should. It's honestly, I don't want to brag about it, but our weather here this time has been great for the garden. In the last few years, it hadn't been, but this year it's been just right. My pa made red eye gravy most every morning. A lot of people did. There was chocolate gravy is great too. I love beef gravy and biscuits. I'm gonna have to look into this chocolate gravy. What? They're talking about chocolate gravy. Hey y'all, love the channel. It's been so hot here. The trees are dropping leaves and branches. Hurry up, autumn. I feel you on that. Our tulip poplars have already started dropping leaves, turning yellow and dropping. She made tea with molasses. I don't remember how much she made the great. There you go.
Well, let me hold it again.
Over there.
I don't know where you're at.
I had made it to.
My pa made the red eye gravy most every morning. Yeah, I heard him in here telling y'all. I finally figured it out how to do it. Actually, there's a video floating around on how to do it.
On your channel?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know you had one out.
It's floating around there somewhere. I think it's a traditional Appalachian meal or something like that is what it's called.
Oh, yeah. I remember that video.
Yeah, and occasionally I like to put flour in it and make it like a thicker red eye gravy. I like it better like that.
I prefer it thin.
Yeah, Andy likes it thin.
Yeah.
Chocolate gravy is great too. I love beef gravy and biscuits. I need to make chocolate gravy. I've had so many people tell me that I need to try to make that. I've never made it, and I bet it is good.
I've never heard of it.
I've had several people tell me that. Hey, y'all love the channel. It's so hot here. Trees are. Oh yeah, I heard you read that one. Made that with the molasses. I don't remember how she made the gravy. I was pretty little. She did chocolate gravy too, but rarely. Yeah, I want to do chocolate gravy. That sounds amazing. Andy loves gravy, like any kind of gravy that ever was. And if you can put gravy on it, you better make gravy to put on it.
Yep. My grandpa was the same way. He always called gravy bobsop.
Yeah.
I have no idea where that name come from, but that's what he called gravy is bobsop. So if he ever said bobsop, you knew what he was talking about.
Tomato gravy for me down in South Mississippi. I've made tomato gravy before too, and it is really good. I made some last year. I love tomato gravy. We went from drought to 3 days of flood and rain back to drought, and that's not normal for us. Yeah, that's tough weather. That's tough. I'll send you the recipe for chocolate gravy. Yes, Miss Sharon, thank you so much. Thank you. Our milkweed I grow for monarchs is dying off already. Oh wow.
Ours hadn't started dying off yet. It's done bloomed and done its thing.
We've been trying to leave the milkweed because people around here, I'm sure a lot of people, they just, it's a weed, so they
try to get rid of it.
Yeah, and but we had a little bit growing up where the Hickory King is, and Andy went up there and weed eated and left the milkweed because we don't really see monarch butterflies anymore, do we?
I haven't seen one in years.
Yeah. So we're hoping we can start seeing some because like I said, there's milkweed up there now. I hadn't seen any here. Stephanie canned a bunch of tomato gravy. Oh, I didn't know you could can it. I never thought about it. But I've used my canned tomatoes to make it, but I've never actually canned the gravy. That's pretty awesome.
There's chocolate gravies.
Mole and Mexican dishes.
You know
I don't know that. I don't know. I think chocolate gravy actually has chocolate in it. I think. I don't know. I don't know the answer to that one. I don't know. So I'm telling about our little trip we took.
What, this past weekend?
To the little homestead and everything. Yeah.
We went. So for anybody that don't know, we never had a camper. We've never went camping or anything like that. Well, we took a wild hair here a while back and bought a camper. Found one fairly cheap, local, and just kind of felt like it was calling our name. So we ended up with it. And we took a trip this past weekend for the first time. This is the first time we took it out. Neither one of us had known anything about a camper, really, and it was actually all pretty easy to figure out. But we went to Grandfather Mountain and was just up there cruising around. We didn't really spend no money. We just done everything as absolutely cheap as possible. And I'd say that was probably one of the cheapest trips we ever took, and we enjoyed some beautiful scenery while we were up there. But what is it?
It said, don't bother making that's what I was laughing at. Don't bother making chocolate gravy if you are not going to make homemade biscuits. It's yummy if you make it right. Miss Sharon, I just got your email too. Thank you for that. I'm going to have to give that a try. No. It's good on biscuits. On hot biscuits. We're definitely gonna have to try that.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna give it a try because I've never eat it. Never eat it. Chocolate gravy.
I'll give it a try.
You gonna try some too? All right.
But the funny part of where I was going with that little story there is, while we didn't know it, but we were just kind of riding around and ended up in Roan Mountain State Park. It is Roan Mountain, right?
Mm-hmm.
And in there they have a old timey homestead that was, originally was I think they called it the Miller Homestead.
Yeah.
But anyways, they had preserved it and whatever, and they still had chickens running around and a couple of horses and the garden planted and everything. But I have to say, it was a beautiful place. It was tucked up in the top of the mountain, and I mean, it was just plumb beautiful. So quiet around there. But there was a couple of people there, and they were like, have a look around. They're like, be careful though, because there's chickens running loose and all this, and they'll peck you. And we just kind of snickered at it. We didn't really say nothing. Well, as we was walking on, Jacob, what was it he said, or was it Maggie that said something about
What?
Asked why they was there or something, and he said because most people don't know nothing about.
Yeah.
How did they say it?
What? Why that place was there?
Yeah, it's like our kids asked why in the world would they want to put it there. I mean, why would they want to have it there? And we were like, well, not everybody is around chickens and stuff, and so they wanted to, for people who don't get to do it, they wanted them to have the chance to check it out. And Maggie's like, well, we don't need to because we have chickens at our house. I don't know. It's just some of the stuff that comes out of these kids' mouths is hilarious sometimes.
Yep.
It's good on hot biscuits.
I know. Maybe I should try. I don't have no cocoa right now though.
Yeah, we'll try it sometime.
Yeah.
What's cocoa?
Like the chocolate, like
Chocolate.
you make them peanut butter delights out of. There's a nice campground right next to Grandfather Mountain. Can't remember the name.
That might be the one we stayed at.
I bet it was. We stayed at Grandfather Campground. It was right at the foot of Grandfather Mountain.
Yep. From our camping spot was the perfect view of Grandfather Mountain. I mean, just looking up there. I mean, it was just beautiful.
And we were beside the Watauga River.
It was the Watauga River.
Yeah. I mean, it was like a little creek, but they called it a river.
It was a little river right there. In that
yes,
spot,
they are, Miss Sharon. They are a mess, and it's no telling what they'll say.
You never know. You got to watch it sometimes. Sometimes they'll say stuff they don't supposed to say to somebody they ain't supposed to say it to.
Maggie looked at Mama one day, and Mama had some store-bought strawberry jelly, and she said, "Nana, did you make this?" And Mama said, "Maggie, I don't make this kind of stuff." And she said, "Well, where did you get it from? Who made it?" And Mama said, "Well, the grocery store made it." And Maggie was like, "You can get strawberry jelly at the grocery store?" And she was just all concerned about it. And I'm like, well, our poor little sheltered children. It just it's funny. But do you have anything else I can't think of anything else really off the top of my head.
I don't know. Then y'all have any questions?
Hello from New Mexico.
New
Hello,
Mexico.
Deborah.
Wow.
Mama, you gonna show me your shirt?
Oh yeah, I gotta show my shirt.
Now that's a totally different climate than what we're used to.
Absolutely. So guys, I got an exciting announcement to make too.
Hang on a second.
Oh,
let's see.
Well, hold on.
I seen something about sorghum. Let's see what it said.
Well, that's what it was.
Well, our sorghum has grown probably that much too. I mean, it is amazing how fast that stuff grows. I did not fertilize mine because some of the guys around here actually told me not to because they said if you fertilize it, it'll affect the taste of the syrup you get out of it. Now, I originally planted mine just for seed as well. We do have a cane mill, but it's actually still at the guy's house who we got it from. And all the stuff to process it with is still at his house. So we just hadn't had time to actually go get it. And once we actually get it, we'll still have to set everything up here. So I'm not sure that we'll actually make molasses this year or not, but I just wanted to plant it and see how it was going to do and just to get the seed really. So I'm interested to see if we can actually pull the time out and to actually do it. I mean, I would love to. There's probably nothing I'd want to do more right now than that, but time is just a big issue for us right now.
Right.
So my youngest granddaughter told my daughter she was
Tired of eating. And then ham bone.
I've been overrun with tomatoes. Yeah, we
I
have to.
feel you. My kitchen table, even though I've done made all this stuff this morning, is still full. So I'll probably make another batch of sauce tomorrow.
Yep. Well, show them what you got there.
Oh, so I've been working on something. I know a lot of people ask us about the Lawson landscaping t-shirts you see us wear like all the time, and the Lawson Farm t-shirts. And the sad news is I don't have any more of those, but I have been working on a t-shirt for the True Grit page. And so I'm going to show it to you because I've got one on. Let's see if I can show it.
I don't know. You need me to hold the computer?
I'm going to show you right here. This is the front. And then I'm going to see if Andy can hold it and show you the back. But it's going to say runs through my veins, not runs in my veins, because I realized that didn't sound exactly right. So, but this is the back.
Jacob, can she see that in the computer?
Yeah.
Okay.
But this is the back. So there's a link.
And there's the front.
Yep, and there's the front. And so there's a link in the top. I put it in the comments here where you can get it from. It's actually on the Lawson Farm website if you're interested in getting a t-shirt. And we do appreciate all your support with the cookbooks and everything.
Somebody on the True Grit page on Facebook was asking about the cookbook today.
Oh, were they? Hang on, let me turn this back around so they can see you. They said, "Oh, I like that. I was born in North Carolina. I would love to visit one day. Cool shirt. Thank you so much." And I'll tell you, okay, we're gonna be at the farm festival, right?
As far as I know.
Okay,
I don't know what we're gonna be doing there yet.
I don't know yet either. But there is, if you'd like to come meet us, we're actually gonna be there this year. Last year we were not able to make this event due to Homesteaders of America, but we're not going to Homesteaders of America this year because the tickets sold out like real early. Yeah. But
we're not going.
No, they sold the tickets sold out.
Sold out super fast.
Yeah, so we will be at what they call the Foothills Farm Festival. It is in, is that address Danbury?
I think
or Lawsonville. But you can look them up on Facebook. It's called the Foothills Farm Festival. It's in October, and me and Andy will be a part of that. We don't know what exactly we'll be doing yet, but that's some friends of ours that put that on, and we will be there if you want to look that up on Facebook.
Usually I'm there like with demonstrating picking corn and stuff like that. But this year the corn pricker's broke, and
it's still broke.
Yeah, it's still broke, and I'm not sure it's going to get fixed before then. So we're having trouble finding some parts. So I don't know that we'll be doing that part of it this year, but it's a pretty cool show. It's pretty interesting to see all the old stuff set up and see all that going in one place.
And my Ford mom was gonna be in the parade.
Yep. Yep. So if that's something, if y'all want to, if you're close by or whatever, just keep that in mind. Like I said, look them up on Facebook. I can't remember the exact date of it. I think it's like the first weekend.
October 7th, I think.
I think it's like the first weekend in October. So, y'all be sure to look that up. And
I'll tell you.
And if you're not already, be sure to join the Facebook page. I love seeing pictures of people's gardens and the things you're canning and stuff like that. Feel free to share any of that on the Facebook page. Andy does a good job keeping up with.
Yeah, Meagan doesn't do much on
there. But we do love seeing all of your stuff on there. Kim said, where is it? It's in Danbury, North Carolina.
Yeah, if you look it up online, you can type it in
there'll
online
be the exact,
or Facebook or whatever.
The exact address will be on there.
It's called Foothills Farm Festival, and it's in Danbury, North Carolina, on Snow Hill Church Road. The exact address I don't know, but it's on Snow Hill Church Road in Danbury, North Carolina, and I'm almost certain that it's October 7th. If that's on a Saturday, then that's when it is, because I can't remember the exact date. But it's just a one-day event. Right. Really, with what all they got going on there, it probably should be a 2-day event because there's a lot of stuff crammed into one day. But it's a pretty cool show. If you're anywhere local or close by, it's worth coming to.
Mm-hmm. Somebody said I'd like to get a signed cookbook if possible. Maybe I could pick it up when you two eat Mexican one day. I'm the one that lives in Meagan.
Oh,
maybe we can work that out one day.
You have some here, don't you?
Yeah. Most of the time, when you order the cookbooks off of Amazon, they actually are published through Amazon, so they come from them instead of coming from me. But like at the Foothills Farm Festival, I'll have a few cookbooks with me that
That's
day.
our opening day of squirrel season.
He said it is a Saturday. That's something I'd like to
Man,
have.
I ain't been squirrel hunting since I was a kid. Look right there.
Oh, yep.
She found it.
Miss Sharon's got it. All right.
October 7th.
She is on it. Thank you, Miss Sharon. But yeah, y'all be sure to, check that out if you are local. Stephanie uses her cookbook all the time. Oh,
Just
she
save
said,
me one of them, please.
I sure will. I will. I'm so glad Stephanie's enjoying the cookbook. I'll be honest with you, mine is like about wore out, and it has like stuff. You know how cookbooks get, like something accidentally drips on it. And my cookbook, even though it's my cookbook, I use it all the time, because a lot of people from the community, those of you that may not know, back when I made that cookbook, I went around to a lot of folks in the community asking for their favorite recipes, a lot of my friends and things. And anybody that contributed a recipe to the cookbook actually got a free cookbook. And I'm thankful for that I was able to do that back then.
Oh, she wants to know where the link to the shirt should be at the top of the comments.
Let me see if I can do it again. I'm going to try to post it again. There it is.
They're going to go.
Hang on.
Let me click that link and I'll see if it
okay.
works.
See if that. Yeah, Andy's going to try it and see if that works. I hope it does. But if not, I will get it fixed. Me and Andy are just a little slow with technology, but I can pick and click around until I eventually figure it out.
It takes you to the website.
Okay, yeah, and then there it is.
Yep. It sure does. It works.
Okay.
Y'all, this sounds terrible, but this is the first time I've ever looked at our website.
And
I didn't even know we had one.
Yes, whatever.
I didn't know we had one that was like this. This thing's fancy looking.
I have a 10-year-old daughter that is mild autistic, and she loves to watch you because you show your kids a lot, and she says she wants to come see your horses and cows. Oh, that's so sweet.
Maggie loves horses too.
Yes, she does. Miss Sharon said it works. So yeah, y'all be sure to check that out. That's something that I know I've just had so many people asking about t-shirts, so I wanted to work on something and do something as far as the t-shirts go. And again, that does support us a little bit here on the farm, and we do appreciate all the support.
She said, "Nice website." Yeah, it is nice.
Thank you.
Did you do all that?
I did.
Well, ain't you special?
I did. It took me a while, but I did it. And then if you're, interested in reading about the farm, there's stuff on there, about the Lawson farm too. I don't keep it as updated as I should, but I'm also, you'll see a link on there about a pressure canning class coming soon. I'm still contemplating on how exactly I'm going to do that, but I do want to do a little course on pressure canning, because I know a lot of folks are intimidated by the pressure canner. So that may be something coming eventually. And of course, if it does come out, I'll be sure to let y'all know. But well, if do y'all have any more questions for us or anything? If not, I guess I'm going to get in here and peel some potatoes.
It looks like the rain may have let up too.
Yeah. So I'm going to get in here. I'm going to peel some potatoes. I'm going to aim to can a few potatoes, I reckon, this evening. So Andy didn't realize he was such an entrepreneur. I just noticed where y'all are from. I used to live across the state line in Stewart. Oh, really? Okay. All right, Ironhead. Yeah,
I love Stewart.
Yeah, we go to Stewart all the time. Do you guys actually eat all that food? That's a huge garden. Yeah. Yeah, we do.
Yeah.
So what we mainly eat here, except for like lunch when Andy's out working. Of course, he'll get lunch out at a local restaurant. When me and the kids are here, we breakfast, lunch, and supper pretty much comes from here, and it takes a lot of food. Like, you can definitely tell a difference from now until next year's garden. I usually have some leftovers, which is what I want to kind of build my stock. But well, thank you, Hambone. Thank you so much for that.
Thank you.
For what?
I appreciate that.
For what?
Hang on, baby. And what was I done forgot what I was talking about. I lost my train of thought.
I don't remember what you're talking about either because I was thinking I was reading them comments right there.
Oh, about eating all that food. But yeah, it
Oh.
does take a lot of food, and you can definitely tell a difference from one year to the next, how big of a dent it puts in it. And, you know, when I go to the grocery store, literally all I buy is junk food. And that's something I want to like do maybe like a grocery haul video one day to just kind of show y'all what I buy at the grocery store, because I don't buy any vegetables. I don't buy any meat. Literally the only thing I buy, that's the only way I know how to explain it.
The only meat you buy is hot dogs.
Yeah, the only meat I buy is hot dogs. There you go. That's right.
We used to buy a lot of so we're not like huge breakfast eaters. None of us
Right.
are. So before I'd leave to go out to work, I would eat like one of these little cereal bars or some kind of muffins or anything like that. Well, I mean, I'm sure many of y'all know stuff's getting expensive, and those things, when you look on the packaging, probably ain't the best things in the world for you to eat either. So she started even making breakfast for the week each weekend. What you make something?
Mm-hmm. I try to make a week's worth of
it'd
breakfast.
be a week's worth,
Mm-hmm.
and it has really made a difference too. I mean, cause I don't know. It's like not only that you snack on them throughout the day, and heck, I can even tell a difference in the way I. This sounds kind of crazy because it sounds crazy to me, but I can tell a difference in the way I feel throughout the day eating a homemade something for breakfast versus eating those store-bought processed things for breakfast. Now, those were really the only meals we were eating out of the store was just those little breakfast bars because, like she said, we'd eat lunch here and eat supper here, and we get Mexican food once a week.
Mm-hmm.
And but now I do eat out for lunchtime, and I wish y'all, if I just wasn't such a picky person. Now, when we work outside and it's hot, and I like to go into a restaurant and sit down and eat in the cool. Megan has tried to convince me for years to take my lunch with me, but I know that if I do that, most likely it's going to be something I have to eat cold, and I'm going to have to eat it sitting in the bed of the truck or in the seat of the truck or whatever. And lunchtime, I just like to go in somewhere and sit down where it's cool and just sit there for a minute and enjoy my lunch, and then go on with it. And I'm not talking about I don't eat at no big fancy restaurants or nothing, like just the little local grills and stuff. But even that's getting expensive lately. I've been adding up just how much money I spend just on lunch the 4 or 5 days a week, and it's getting kind of ridiculous. Like each within the past 2 months, I have my regular stops where I stop and eat lunch, and just in the last 2 months, all of them prices have increased by quite a bit, not just a little bit. So it's amazing that how stuff's going up, and it's going up fast.
So do you use, let's see, I was intimidated by the pressure canning at first, not anymore. Easiest convenience meals ever. That's right. That's the way I look at it. Like, make your own convenience foods. They want to tell you that it's, you can't make your own fast food and your own convenience foods. Man, canned food, I can make a good meal in, depending on what we're having, in 15 or 20 minutes. If it's all like canned stuff, yeah, like, can't beat it. I can't drive to a restaurant, pick up my food, and drive back home for that. Which we do live in the middle of nowhere, but still.
Yeah, we don't really have none close by.
Do you use a gauge canner? Yeah, so mine is a weighted gauge canner, so it doesn't actually have the dial. The weight rocks when the pressure gets to where it's supposed to be. I bought it from Walmart 10 years ago, and it's still going strong. I recommend, it's just a Presto pressure canner. Probably one of the cheapest ones you can buy. 1 acre garden per person is what the old timers used to say. Huh. Did you know that?
No, I didn't.
I love having my food canned, make super easy after a long day at work. That's right, Stephanie. Yes, it does. Have you tried frying kudzu leaves? No. I knew kudzu was edible, but I've never tried frying leaves.
We got rid of all of our kudzu, fortunately.
Yes, the goats got rid of it for us.
Yeah. All of this right behind our house down here. I wish I had pictures. But as soon as you'd step out our back door, like you couldn't cross the driveway, and it was covered in kudzu. And that's the whole reason I got goats to begin with, was for that kudzu. It's not there now. There's not even evidence of the kudzu there now.
So yes, Deborah, you may need to get your seal checked. if it's not getting up pressure like it should. It's got a leak. It's probably got a leak somewhere or another. That's the same pressure canner I have. Yeah, you can't beat the Presto. I mean, like I said, I bought it from Walmart. It was cheap years ago. But I have other kind too, but I noticed the one with the dial is the one I had the issue with. Huh. I bet I know if the seal gets broken at all that it won't hold pressure. What is that big weird looking pot? I saw you cooking tomato sauce in the... So I got that as a wedding present back when me and Andy, before we got married and had our wedding shower. It's a Biltmore brand. You used to get them at Belk's. I don't even know if they still make them, but it's called a pot belly stock pot.
Everybody asks about that.
Yeah,
pot.
yeah. But it's my favorite pot. But yeah, it's a Biltmore brand, and it used to come from Belk's.
Tastes like Pringles.
What is that big? Huh. Well, you have to go across the road and pick you some.
I know.
Pick what?
Some kudzu.
But, well, anyways, guys, I hate to cut this off because this has been a wonderful chat and everything. I love interacting with y'all. Oh, that's right, pot. Stephanie. I forgot you found you one. That's right. And she said I call it my Meagan pot. But yeah, it has been wonderful. We love interacting with you guys and like talking with y'all. And we just, like I always say, we appreciate all the support so much. And you know, y'all just stay busy out there and keep on keeping on. Don't give up. You got anything, any ending words you want to say to them? I got to get in here and peel some potatoes.
You'll get something
I ain't
done
never going to
now.
get done. But, guys, y'all have a good one. And be sure to check out our video coming out tomorrow on our reservoir potato harvest. And I just got here, but hi. Uh-oh. Hey, Homestead Haven. But
we hate you missed it.
Yeah. But anyways, guys, well, I'm going to go peel some taters, and I'll talk to y'all later.
Y'all have a good one.
Have a great day, guys.
See you later.